right, chat. So last time we streamed, we talked about a little bit of a disagreement between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris regarding how the debate that they had arranged with the ABC network, how the debate was going to be handled, more particularly whether or not the mics were going to be muted. And as we discussed in my previous coverage of this, apparently when the debate was supposed to happen between Joe Biden and Donald Trump originally, it was decided that the mics would be turned off so that basically when somebody was speaking, they'd have their time to speak and the other person's mic would be muted and then their mic would be unmuted when it was their turn to speak. A bit more of a formal sort of debate sort of situation. And that was what Joe Biden wanted at the time. Now, obviously, Joe Biden has dropped out of the race, and now we have Kamala Harris taking over in that regard. And so Kamala and her campaign decided different. They said they wanted the mics to be open. And keep in mind, when Joe Biden initially asked to have the mics muted, this is something that Donald Trump didn't want. Okay, he didn't want them muted, but eventually he reluctantly agreed. But now that Kamala's like, no, let's leave the mics wide open. Let's leave the mics wide open, and then we can say whatever we want. Then they started like not suddenly, I don't want that. This is what we initially agreed to. It kind of seemed like he was trying to back out of it, right? Having said that, it does look like an agreement has finally been met now. And we're going to take a look at that agreement here in this CBS News video. It says Trump says he's reached an agreement to participate in the September 10th debate. So without further ado,
play that shit!
Here we go.
Former President Donald Trump says he has reached an agreement to participate in the September 10th debate with Vice President Harris. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said the debate will take place on ABC News and said the format will follow the same rules as the last CNN debate.
So does that mean the mics will be muted? I'm not really sure. So I have reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats. That's his thing now. He's trying to position Kamala Harris as a radical leftist, which is insane to me. If they think that like Kamala Harris is radical left, what do they think of somebody like Bernie Sanders, right? Like, Jesus. But in any case, I reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats for a debate with Comrade Kamala Harris. So I guess that's his whole strategy now, is to try and make Kamala Harris out to be a communist, I guess. It will be broadcast live on ABC Fake News, by far the nastiest and most unfair newscaster in the business, on Tuesday, September 10th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The rules will be the same as the last CNN debate, which seemed to work out well for everyone except perhaps crooked Joe Biden. He just seems like someone like throwing like a temper tantrum the whole time. Like, every time he tweets something, he just seems like he's having a temper tantrum. The debate will be stand up, and candidates cannot bring notes or cheat sheets. Fair enough. We have also been given assurance by ABC that this will be a fair and equitable debate, and that neither side will be given the questions in advance. No Donna Brazil. I don't get the reference there. Does anybody get the reference there? I don't get it. Harris would not agree to the Fox News debate on September 4th, but that date will be held open in case she changes her mind or flip-flops, as she has done on every single one of her long-held and cherished policy beliefs. A possible third debate, which would go to NBC Fake News, has not been agreed by the radical left. God bless America. This literally just, it reads as like an unhinged rant. It's so bizarre. This is not something you would expect from a candidate for president, somebody running for president.
CBS News has reached out to the Harris-Walz campaign but has not yet heard back. Let's bring in Olivia Rinaldi for more.
I'll say it again, Trump is a man-child who wants things his own way. Yeah, for sure. Donna Brazil sent a candidate questions unsolicited, and the candidate reported it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. I had no idea what that was in reference to.
So, Olivia, still unclear. Are we any closer to knowing what's happening with the issue of the mic and whether it will be muted?
Yeah, Lindsay, there's been a lot of back and forth about this debate. Will they, won't they? What does it look like? We're getting a little bit more clarification from this Truth Social post that Donald Trump just put out.
Well, I don't understand that the Truth Social post, I'm hoping they elaborate on this in the video, but the Truth Social post didn't really comment on the mic situation, because that's what the disagreement was about, right? Whether the mics would be live or whether they would be muted. That's the part that was kind of contentious. So hopefully they address that here.
You read a few things. I do want to note that he also said the rules will be the same as the CNN debate. And at the CNN debate, that is where they had the mics muted when a candidate was not speaking, or perhaps when the question had gone to someone else. So
I guess it's safe to presume that that would be the same here. Muted mics. Okay.
if the rules are the same, we anticipate that that is something that will be continuing on in this debate. Trump also said the debate will be stand up, meaning the candidates will be standing, not sitting, and they will not be able to bring notes or, quote, cheat sheets. So all of these things pretty similar to the CNN debate that we saw back in June between former President Donald Trump and President Biden. Of course, this is going to be the first time that Vice President Harris and former President Donald Trump will be sitting down together for a debate. And we do know that this will.
And I am so looking forward to this because, again, as I said, as soon as Kamala Harris took the nomination, or she became like the top candidate, essentially, one of her first things she said in one of her first public speaking engagements, in that regard, was that she wanted to debate Trump. She couldn't wait for an opportunity to debate Trump. Tim Walz said the same thing about J.D. Vance. So it's going to be very exciting to get the opportunity to see this debate, and also hopefully Tim Walz debate JD Vance. That would be really good to watch as well. The VP one is going to be one-sided bloodbath. Yeah, I think so, because everything I've seen from JD Vance just shows that he's like so incompetent on so many levels, and Tim Walz doesn't give that vibe at all. For fuck's sakes, JD Vance couldn't order donuts, chat. Did you guys see that clip of JD Vance trying to order donuts? I wasn't going to show this, but since I brought it up, I have to bring up this clip now. It's so insane. Let's see. JD Vance ordering donuts. It was one of those like things where like the press follows like a potential candidate to like he goes to like a local business and he tries to like, hey, I'm running for vice president, and here's what, if I win, this is what I can do for businesses like yours, and it's a press engagement, right? And it just goes sour from like the very, very start. Let me see if I can bring this up here.
Good. The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Looks like is everybody else in here? All right, one of the few. Okay.
This whole thing looks so awkward. He's such an awkward person.
I'm J.D. Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
And just a random assortment of stuff.
Yes, the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay. Good. How much you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay. Good. How long?
It's funny because like normally when you see these sort of things, like the people who work at the restaurant, they're very happy to, oh, wow, it's great, to see you, hopefully you win the election. It's a very like lighthearted, happy engagement, right? But in this case, it just seems like they're inconvenienced by him. They don't want to be anywhere near him, and he just makes the whole situation more awkward.
Everything.
Just everything. Yeah, a lot of glaze, cinnamon rolls, just whatever it is.
He doesn't even know how to order. Like, dude, just like whatever makes sense. Like, what?
You don't want to be on film, you're good.
Ma'am.
If you don't want to be on film, you're okay.
Yeah.
They're even saying, like, one of the people that works at the restaurant is even saying, like, I don't want to be on camera. Please don't put me on camera.
How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good. This place, I didn't know if it had been here for 20 years or 4 years, or you never know. Sometimes you try.
We've seen like infamous videos of like Obama going to like a burger shop and like ordering a burger and having a burger. We've even seen Donald Trump make appearances at, local retailers and local restaurants and stuff. And even with him, as much as I'd hate to admit it, like because he has so much charisma, like the engagement wasn't awkward or weird or anything. It's very awkward or weird here with JD Vance.
This is a cool story.
Okay, so anyway, there's that clip. But let's get back to what we're taking a look at here. Very, very awkward.
Will be happening on September 10th in Philadelphia. Now, as you mentioned, we are out to the Harris campaign to make sure that all of these issues with mics and standing and notes are kaput, that they're done, that they've agreed on them, and that we can move forward and decide whether or not this debate is actually going to happen or not. But of course, we'll be watching for any more developments.
I'm definitely hyped for the debate. I don't know if I'll be able to stream it because I don't know what the copyright situation is going to be like for that. I will try to stream it, but we'll see when that time comes. But I am interested to watch it for sure, though.
It could happen with this.
Yeah, sitting down for the debate, or in this case, standing up for the debate. Olivia, what else are you hearing from the Trump campaign on their movements this week?
Yeah, so we know later this week Donald Trump will be returning to Michigan. He'll be holding some remarks there. He'll also be doing a
The fuck is wrong with Donald's skin? His skin looks rotten, especially after that recent picture he took of him meeting at the border wall. Donald Trump border wall. Let me see if I could find the picture. He looks like he's like rotting away in front of us. Like it's the most insane picture I've ever seen. I can't find it. Let me keep playing this while I look for it.
town hall in Wisconsin. What's interesting about that is that Tulsi Gabbard, who endorsed him on Monday, will be there with him. Now
I found it. This is the picture right here. Let me blow this up. Let's see. Open image, a new tab. Oh my Lord. Look at him in this picture, chat. Like he looks like he's on the verge of death. Like if you had told me that moments after this picture was taken that he killed over and died, I'd probably believe you. Because like, Jesus, he's got a Resnial virus. Yes, he was infected with the T virus and his skin is rotting, like his flesh is rotting right off of his face. Dear Lord.
Is the former representative, Democratic representative, who ran for president in 2020. She dropped out of that race, endorsed Bernie Sanders, and then now left the Democratic Party in 2022 and is now endorsing former President Donald Trump. So she'll be there with him on Thursday, rather. Then Friday, Donald Trump will be going to Pennsylvania to give some remarks near Pittsburgh. It'll be his first return back to that area since the assassination attempt in July. And then later that evening, he'll be speaking at the Moms for Liberty convention here in Washington, D.C. So a lot on the plate for the former president. That also comes as Vice President Kamala Harris is doing a bus tour in Georgia with her running mate, Governor Walz.
The Trump campaign says, quote, we are...
That's the thing that's been amazing to see is how much like excitement there is around her campaign and how quickly they've raised like so much money for the campaign. And overall, they're just like on the campaign tour because you got to remember, like, because it was almost pretty much a last minute decision for Biden to drop out and for her to take over. They've got very little time to campaign for her, right? But they've been killing it. They're on that campaign grind.
Proud that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard have been added to the Trump-Vance transition team. We look forward to having their powerful voices on the team as we work to restore America's greatness. Both spent...
Give him a shot of the G virus and wonder what he would mutate into. Chaotic Kitten in the chat basically made that comment. And I gotta be honest, like if you've ever played the original Resident Evil 2 and you played to scenario B where you have to face like Mr. X at the game, and as you beat him multiple times, he evolves more and more and more into a more grotesque creature. I would imagine the transformation that Donald Trump would have if you were to inject him with the G virus is like the last form of Mr. X when he's on the train and he looks like a literal like pulsating pus-filled dirty asshole. I would imagine that's kind of like what Trump would look like if you were to inject the G virus into him.
Most of their political lives as progressive Democrats. What do we know about this decision to bring them into the fold?
Yeah, as I mentioned about Tulsi Gabbard, you know, she is someone who kind of did a little bit of a turnaround. Is now
That's William Birkin, not Mr. X. Are you sure? I might totally be fucking that up, but I thought that was like the final form of Mr. X. That's G. Birkin, isn't it? Okay, I could be totally wrong about that. My bad. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Basically, in my community, we call it the asshole monster. That one.
Now endorsing the former president, and we learned today that Robert Kennedy Jr. and Ms. Gabbard will be on the Trump transition team. They will be honorary co-chairs, along with Trump's two sons, Don.
Yes, Birkin mutates, but Mr. X doesn't. Mr. X does mutate to some degree. I just thought that was him that was like the final butthole monster, but apparently it's not. Apparently that's Birkin.
Jr. and Eric, along with also Senator J.D. Vance, his running mate, is also an honorary co-chair of that transition. So it's interesting they're being brought back into the fold. Trump had some notable comments about RFK Jr.
Oh, speaking of RFK Jr., I wasn't going to show this on the stream, but I found like a friend of mine shared a hilarious clip with me of RFK Jr. that was posted on Twitter. Like, I want to say it was posted on Twitter about a year ago, maybe. I'll see in a second when I bring it up. But like, this is the guy that basically endorsed Donald Trump, and Trump is putting him on his transition team. Let me bring this clip up for you guys, because this is utter insanity. Trump is putting this guy on his transition team. Let that sink in. Facepalm emoji. Here we go. I'll start the clip at the beginning.
Well, Wi-Fi radiation does all kinds of bad things, including causing cancer.
Wi-Fi radiation causes
cancer?
from
your cell phone. I mean, there's cell phone tumors. You know, I'm representing hundreds of people who have cell phone tumors behind the ear. It's always on the ear that you favor with your cell phone. And, you know, we have the science. So if anybody lets us in front of a jury, it will be over. You know,
so what is the number? Because a lot of people
use a lot of people with it. They're glioblastomas. That's the kind of cancers that they get. But cancer's not the worst thing. They also, you know, it opens up. Wi-Fi radiation opens up your blood-brain barrier. And so all these toxins that are in your body can now go into your brain.
How does Wi-Fi radiation open up your blood-brain barrier?
Yeah, now you're going beyond my expertise. But what there are I'm going to use a number here. And
I'm going to say this like really crazy over-the-top shit that I can't back up. And if you press me a little too hard on it, oh, you've gone beyond my level of expertise.
It's not.
This is so bizarre.
Dozens of studies that show the horrendous danger of Wi-Fi radiation.
Oh my God. So anyway, I just wanted to briefly show you guys that clip because I saw that today and it was so bizarre. Jeez.
Yesterday when he was at a campaign stop in Virginia where he said,
does this guy think the earth is flat? I mean, honestly, if he came out saying that he was a flat earther, I would believe it.
He's being very well received by the party. That was notable. That perked my interest, quite frankly, hearing how he said RFK is being received by his base and by Republicans. So it was only natural for Trump to then bring him on in some capacity. What I'll be watching for, though, is to see if RFK will join him on the campaign.
Like how windmills cause noise cancer? Oh my God, true.
Trail again. You can see them there in Glendale, Arizona, but I'm curious if they will be joined any other time throughout this campaign. That'd be quite notable. And you'll be seeing Trump later this week with Ms. Gabbard in Wisconsin.
Olivia Rinaldi, thank you.
Okay, so it looks like the debate is happening, and copyright on YouTube permitting, I will be reacting to it, or at the very least, I'll be giving my thoughts on how the debate went. But yeah, overall, I think it was just really silly for there to even be this possibility of the debate getting canceled over a dispute over whether the mic should be muted or not. But apparently it all got sorted out, and we're going to see this debate, which is going to be interesting.